They're back at Dublin Airport Terminal 1, delays again this morning.
And the queues were really long early. They're tapering off now, and my instinct is that they will, by around 8:30, be back to 20, 30 minutes, sort of normality. The reason is that that trust has been broken. After that initial long queue, when we first saw queues outside of Dublin Airport, we were told 2.5 hours short haul, 3.5 long haul, you will make your flight. And Dublin Airport, they were stretched, but they got everyone on board their aircraft. What happened on Sunday is that trust, that belief that, we followed their advice has been broken. It's really hard to get it back, Alan. A lot of people in queues this morning are going for much later flights. You have people in for an afternoon flight ahead of someone for a 9 a.m. flight. Very hard for the airport to roster, and the people who are behind the scenes losing it over this are the airlines, because they're trying to staff their check-in desks and monitor what time people are coming for bag drop-offs. Bag drop-offs are a big deal if you're going to one of the hubs like Lufthansa's flight to Frankfurt, or KLM's to Amsterdam, Air France to Charles de Gaulle, or the Heathrow service, because lots of people have bags. So very difficult for an airport
to manage. Should we be taking the airport advice then and do the 2.5 hours?
Yes.
For a short haul and 3.5 hours for long haul?
Yes, we have no choice, Alan. We have to trust them. They make the big call.
People trusted them at the weekend, and look what happened.
That's exactly it. We've more than 1,000 people left without their flights. But remember, this is an industry where things go wrong all the time. A pile-up on the M50 has caused that sort of level of people missing their flights in the past.
A snowstorm,
all of
like that.
It recovers quickly. They reschedule people. They get people going where they are. To actually blanket, say, everybody arriving in the airport 4, 5, 6 hours in advance will make it will contribute more problems than it will solve.
So there'll be lots of people watching this morning that they are heading out, and there are people worried because they're going, oh my God,
3 years,
3
4
years,
children,
4 kids going out for this weekend for their first summer holiday.
Looking for the passport.
Yeah. So what's your advice to them then?
Stick to 2.5 for short haul, 3.5 for long haul.
So you're saying that should be fine?
That should be fine.
So what's going to change with the DAA between now and the weekend that we won't see a repeat of what happened on Sunday?
You can't give that absolute guarantee, and the DAA can't give that absolute guarantee. But what they have to look at is how can 17 people, that's what's involved here, 17 people couldn't turn up for work because of sickness on Sunday morning. How could 17, and then as the Kildare...
How 17 people caused that mayhem?
Because
it must have been much more than that.
Once you lose, as the Kildare footballers found on Saturday, once you concede 4 goals in the first 20 minutes, once you lose that early morning, you don't get it back. The queue was irretrievable, and they were bringing people in or trying to bring people in and all of that. So what they had on Sunday was a really bad start to the day, never recovered. And remember, Saturday was troublesome as well. People were missing, a lot of sports fans on the move, people missing flights on Saturday, and they ran into this terrible Sunday. What we saw yesterday is a long queues early in the morning because of people of nervousness, and this morning is about nervousness. But I can't say, and DA can't say, it won't happen because we're 4 of the busiest weekends of the year. Yeah. June 24 is the busiest scheduled day of the year.
Can I just ask you, the DAA, about compensation of people who miss flights and compensation if it happens again. The DAA have said they will compensate everybody who miss flights. But they're not saying, they're just saying on an individual basis they will look at each case by case. So are you able to claim for your hotel costs? Will you get your car hire? I saw 3 kids were going to a concert in the UK. They're not going to get that money back.
That concert isn't going to happen again,
Well, that concert isn't going to happen again. Will the DAA cover that?
Case by case is because there's a very heavily regulated environment when an airline is at fault with the EU regulations in since 2004. There's nothing about airports. What will happen this morning, at the moment, customer experience at dublinairport.ie
is your portal.
It's your email.
Yeah, there is email. That's where you can go. Yeah.
That's where you go. Now, there will be a link on the website up later this morning, I'm told. And if you email that, that's the first place to go. You stop there, you start there, you get back a form. They'll look for your vouched expenses and they'll go through it case by case, because what they've said is we're paying compensation, but the legal people in Dublin Airport will intervene and say, well, it can't be open-ended. Everyone who claims they were going to a concert, maybe they were, maybe they weren't. But that's not for us to discuss here this morning. At the moment, they're saying, send it in, we'll look at it, and I'm sure by the end of this week, they'll have a clear pattern. It's not a hell of a lot of people, by the way, 1,500 compared with what the big storm will do. So it's customer experience
at dublinairport.com. That's the email that you'll send it to. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but we would love to hear from you if you had been affected over the weekend, and if you're planning to travel this week. What are your fears? Are you going to take Owen's advice? Do the 2.5 or the 3.5 hours?
Stay cool.
Stay cool.
A cool head and a dry sock.
Thank you. Sorry in such short space of time this morning because we've loads to get through, but we might have you back in next week. If we see a repeat of it this weekend, hopefully not. Lots more on RLDM still to come. We're going to take a quick break.